Hey, you guys, welcome back to Rooted in Joy podcast. I am your host, Joy Rhodes, and I am so excited that you are here. First, I want to sincerely apologize for the delay in content. I had to allow myself to sit in this moment of realization that my only goal was not to just help someone else by the things that I speak of or talk about, but also that this was helping me. It made me sit back and really dissect everything that I say and like literally pour it back into myself. What they say, practice what you preach. And I know we may not be going through the same thing or may not be in the same season, but I know that we all go through something. And I know that we are all going to grow together, okay? So let's get into it. Today's topic is, will growth ever feel comfortable? We're going to talk about growth. We're going to talk about discomfort. We're going to talk about change and whether we truly arrive at a place where growth feels easy. Because lately I've been asking myself this question: if growth always requires discomfort, do we ever become comfortable? Or do we just keep growing forever? And then another thought hit me too. People say, expect the unexpected. But if you expect it, is it really unexpected anymore? And I know that may sound simple at first, but the more I sat with it, the deeper it became, because life really is this constant cycle of becoming. There's always another lesson, another version of you, another level of healing, another mindset to unlearn, another space that you have to grow into. And honestly, I think sometimes we secretly believe that one day we'll finally reach this version of ourselves that has it all figured out. Like one day we'll wake up confident, emotionally mature, unbothered, disciplined, peaceful, and suddenly that growth won't hurt anymore. But I don't think life works like that. I think growth changes shape. In the beginning, growth feels loud. It feels uncomfortable because you're losing familiarity. You're leaving behind old habits, old mindsets, old coping mechanisms, old environments, and even old relationships. And even if those things were unhealthy, they still were familiar. And as humans, we naturally hold on to what's familiar because familiarity feels safe. And that's why growth feels so emotional sometimes. Not because you're going backwards, but because a part of you is grieving what you used to know. And I think people underestimate that part. We celebrate the outcome of growth, but we don't talk about the process of it. The awkward stage, the lonely stage, the confusing stage, the stage where your old self no longer fits, but your new self hasn't fully formed yet. That space right there, it's uncomfortable, but it's also sacred because that's usually where transformation happens. And we know vulnerability plays a huge role into that too. To grow, you have to be willing to see yourself honestly. You have to admit some things. You have to face things. You have to feel things. And vulnerability is scary because it removes control. We try to have control over things in our lives, but when we don't have that control, it makes us manic. It makes us panic. Gives us anxiety. Why? You can't grow while hiding from yourself. You can't heal while pretending everything doesn't affect you. And sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stop performing long enough to actually be honest. I think a lot of people associate vulnerability with weakness because it feels exposed. But vulnerability, it actually takes courage, because it takes courage to evolve. But here's the part I keep coming back to. Do we ever actually arrive? Like, do we ever fully become comfortable? I don't think the answer is yes in the way that we imagine it. I don't think growth ends. I think we change. I think over time we stop fearing discomfort as much because you realize discomfort isn't always destruction. Sometimes discomfort is stretching. Sometimes it's pruning. Sometimes discomfort is life introducing you to a version of yourself that you haven't met yet. And that changes the way that you experience growth. You stop seeing every hard season as punishment. You stop panicking every time life shifts. You stop needing certainty for every next step. And if you know me, I love to know. I hate not knowing. I feel like I have to have certainty. But we have to stop needing certainty for every next step. But because you become more trusting of yourself, and that's where I think the real growth takes place. Not becoming fearless, not becoming perfect, not reaching some final form of yourself, but becoming adaptable. Becoming grounded enough to move through change without completely losing yourself every single time. That's why I think expect the unexpected makes so much sense, because mature people will understand in life things will change, people will change, plans will change, you will change, unexpected things will happen. But even when you expect change to happen, the details still surprise you. You can know that storms exist and still be shocked by how heavy the rain feels when it finally comes. And maybe that's what life teaches us over and over again. You cannot control every wave, but you can learn how to trust yourself in the water. I think some of us are waiting for life to finally become stable enough for us to feel peace. But peace may not come from life becoming still. Peace may come from knowing no matter what changes, I'll find my footing again. That's different. It's deeper. The kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on your relationship with yourself. And honestly, I think that's why some people can survive hard seasons and still remain soft, because they learn that growth is not the enemy. Discomfort is not always a warning sign. Sometimes it's confirmation that you're evolving. And I want to say this too. Just because growth feels uncomfortable doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Sometimes we think, if this feels hard, maybe I should stop. But some things only feel hard because they require a different version of you, a healthier version of you, a more honest version, a more disciplined version, a more healed version. And becoming someone new will always feel unfamiliar at first, but it doesn't mean that you're failing. It actually means that you're expanding. So maybe the goal isn't to become permanently comfortable, but maybe the goal is to become more secure within yourself while life continues to change around you. Maybe growth is less about arriving and more about learning how to keep becoming, learning how to release, learning how to trust, learning how to adapt. And maybe that's what being rooted really means. Not being stuck, not never changing, but being grounded enough to grow in every season. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Rooted in Joy. I hope this reminded you that discomfort is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's proof that you're stepping into a new version of yourself. And wherever you are in your journey right now, give yourself grace while you grow. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode.